Hello friends, foes, other watchers on the internet. My name is Matt, you're watching Hogwash Gaming, and today we are going to be building a character for an RPG called Icons. And what's special about this RPG is you build superheroes. And I have never played this game, but one of the things that this book brags about is quick hero creation. It says it right there. Quick hero creation. So apparently it's got to be pretty simple. I've made a few. I just did one recently to just get myself back into the rhythm, and it's very true. It is pretty simple. But what I like about this system is, though there are mechanics to how powers work and how character creation works, you get to use your imagination on how that manifests, and there's a little bit of discussion between you and your DM on whether or not this will work the way you want it to work, and just taking into consideration other ways of thinking about things. So let's take a look at how to make a character in Icons. Alright, so to build a character we will need a few things. We'll need the book. We'll need 2 dice that look different from each other. We'll need a thing to write with, and then we'll need a sheet of paper or something to write our character on. Now, I like to use index cards because they're small and I've got a lot of them, and if I mess up then I'm not wasting a ton of paper. I usually go with your basic information about your character, and then on the next card I go with superpowers and their limitations, whatever. We might want to use a pencil, but I'm living dangerously today. We're gonna go pen. Alright, so first things first, we need to figure out what we are going to be using to build a character. And the first thing that we're looking at is prowess, coordination, strength, intellect, awareness, and willpower. Now, from what I can understand, prowess is about your melee. That's your melee skill. In other games it might be strength, but in this case it's just melee, because strength is something else in this game. Coordination is agility, accuracy, hand-eye coordination, speed, and grace. So basically dexterity. We've got strength, which is more your ability to withstand things, your ability to keep going, and your ability to use your muscles to do things. So, whereas in a game like D&D, strength is your ability, your physical strength, and constitution is your toughness. In this, muscle and toughness are all in one. Okay, so we got intellect, which is pretty simple. It's book smarts. Awareness is your perception, your ability to see things, your attention to detail, that kind of thing. And it says wits, so apparently the aspect of being able to think on your feet. That's good. And willpower, force of personality, confidence, discipline, and courage. So, yeah, so the ability to not get discouraged, the ability to keep on going, that's what we're going to be rolling for. And, according to the book, the default way of generating these stats is by rolling for them, in order. There are other ways, there's the point buy way, but since we're just going with the quick and easy step, we're going to just go from there. And I'll try to make this quick, but I want it to be informative as well, so you can see how fast it is, but also how it works. Alright, first phase is the origin. So this is going to be fun. There are different origins, and each origin has some sort of bonus that it confers on things. So let's roll our dice and see what we come up with. That's a 7. That's the most common number to roll on 2d6s. And this would be birthright. The hero was born with or destined to develop superhuman powers the character gains your choice of one additional power, which should be innate and not a device, or a +2 to a rolled power level of your choice to a maximum of 10. I think I am going to go with the first off, we're going to write down the origin. So, origin, in, not on, in. Alright, origin. And that would be birthright. Cool. So, kind of like Superman and probably a lot of the X-Men would be considered birthright heroes. They were just destined to become that. So, let's go from here. Next we're going to do our levels for the prowess, coordination, etc. So we're just going to write down all of these things. Alright, so now that we've written all of these down, we're going to roll to see the levels that each one of these are on. And that will really help determine what kind of superhero we're looking at. We also have this table here that shows us how to translate what we roll into levels. So here we go. First off, for prowess, we have 7. So that puts us at a level 5. Cool. Coordination. That's a 10. Not bad. That takes us to 6. We've got a 3 for strength, so not terrific. We'll put that as 2. Cool. Another 3 for intellect. Interesting. Okay. What kind of character will this be? I don't know. Alright. 6 and 4 is 10, which puts us at 6. Cool. And 4 and 3 is 7. That puts us at 5. Okay, so not super strong and not super smart, but pretty aware and pretty good in a fight. The coordination is pretty high, awareness is pretty high, willpower and prowess is pretty good. He's just not fantastically strong, which is okay. Let's go over here. I think there's a list here. Yep, right here. It kind of tells us how these levels kind of add up here. So for prowess, it's 5. It's good. So this superhero is exceptionally good at fighting, as far as a human goes. Anything above a 6 is considered superhuman ability. We didn't get anywhere above that, so none of these are considered superpowers. They're just pretty good. The lowest we got was poor, which is below average human. So not super strong and not super smart, but not minimum. A level 1 would be weak. We're just poor in these adjectives that we go with. So that's just something to keep in our consideration here. And right here we have telling us that we can switch these around if we want. I'm pretty happy with them. I think they're interesting. I think it's an interesting mix here. So first off, we're going to roll again for our powers now. So let's see how many powers we got. Okay, it says 8. So 8 is 4 powers. So we're going to roll on this. We're going to write just 4 powers here. Whew. Really hard to write that. Alright, so for each power we're going to roll on this to see what kind of powers this character has. And then we're going to flip and see which specific powers the character has. So here we go. Okay, so the first power is alteration. Okay, alteration. Next, we'll roll, that's 10, that's another alteration. Alright, and I'm gonna space them out so we can write a lot. Alteration, T-I-O-N. That's a 7. Offensive. Okay. And mental. Okay, so we have two alteration spells, an offensive spell, and a mental spell. Spells. What am I talking about? These are powers, not spells. I've been playing too much D&D recently. Sorry about that. Alright, so now we're going to go to here and roll for what kind of alteration, what kind of offense, and what kind of mental power. So let's check it out. Alteration. What do we got? Group 3, number 2. Okay, so 3, 2. Extra body parts. Okay, so already already we're getting into weird territory. Okay, we'll go with that. Extra body parts. I wonder what kind. Let's find out. Okay, so 6 and 4. So 4 and 6. Shrinking. Ooh. I like it already. It has an insect kind of theme. Like Ant-Man. Cool. Okay, let's see what his offensive power is. Okay, 3 and 1. 3 and 1. Affliction. Whoa. And mental. 2 and 4. Mental is here. 2, 4. Emotion control. Interesting. Okay, so I have to use both hands here. Now here's something that I find interesting. The book never says, in this area at least, that we need to roll on the power for each of these. I'm not sure where. I mean, if it does, it's hidden somewhere. But you're supposed to roll for the power of each power, the level of each power. I don't see that anywhere on here. I've looked around, and I just don't see it. So there's that. But I have seen people build characters for this before, and they always roll for the power of the power, the level of the power. So we're going to go with level determination, and we're going to see what level the power of extra body parts is. So that would be a 4. Alright, not the top, but not the smallest. How good is he at shrinking? 4. So that would be 3. Not terrific. How about this affliction? That's 7, so that would be 5. And emotion control. 7, so that's also a 5. Interesting. Now then, What we can do is, remember the birthright thing that said that we get to add +2 to a rolled power level of our choice? We can mess around with these. Also, this is where the creativity gets into play, because now we have the powers, we know how strong they are, and now we get to fiddle with them a little bit as far as a mental situation is concerned, or like just how to make things fit. But before we do that, let's roll for some specialties, because the specialties might help us figure out what we're going to make this character like. So let's see how many specialties this character has and what they are. Alright, not bad. That's a 9. So this character will have 3 specialties. So, like we did with the powers, we're going to roll and figure out on this chart what those specialties are. Alright, so the first specialty, we'll go white-black with this. So 3 and 1 is martial arts. Very nice. Okay, so martial arts. Cool. And that kind of fits with the prowess. I like that. And the coordination. Alright. 5 and 4. We're going white and black, right? So 5 and 4, sleight of hand. Interesting. Alright. And got an H there. We'll just turn that T into an H. There we go. And white and black. 5 and 3 is science. Of course. So looking up this with the extra body parts, it's kind of interesting because you have all of these situations here, and you choose one of them, and then you see what that does for your character. And what's interesting is some of these, like wings, actually gives you the effects of another power. So wings would give you the ability of flight. So just because you roll up extra body parts, it doesn't mean that you can't fly. You get to choose. I don't think I'm going to make this character fly though, because we've got the martial arts, we've got the sleight of hand, we've got the science. I think it would be cool if this character had like extra arms or claws, something to help in the fight on the streets or something like that. So I'm thinking like maybe someone who was on the streets, who got street smarts. Science was always his jam, but he just didn't have the intellect to go there. But he was always interested in it. Sleight of hand and martial arts were how he stayed on the street and it was safe. So for a thing, I think I'm picturing him like wearing a hoodie, you know, and having like extra arms or something underneath. So you have strength or the fast attack power at your power level and can take the other as an extra. Okay, so let's get into extras and limits, because what we can do is we can do some discussion with the DM on how this is going to work. So let's say I want to have extra arms, but I want them not to be always there. I want them to like spring into existence or something like that. I think it's a little weird to have an extra set of arms just being there. So, you know, because that kind of messes with an origin story sometimes, you know. So let's ask the DM hey, I don't want these arms to be all the time. I want them to kind of like form out of nothing. Maybe we can go with the science background and say maybe he heard about some chemical and wanted to get involved in the production of this chemical, not knowing what it was. It was a mutagen, and it got spilled on him, and he developed the ability to grow extra arms out of himself. And then the DM would be like, okay, so that's a pretty big extra ability in that power. That's really different, and I don't have a problem with it, but we're gonna have to put a limit on it. Because we don't want to, A, grow like a bunch of arms, because it doesn't say how many, and if you can just grow them at will, we don't want to have a ton of them. So we'll limit it to 2 arms. So that's what we'll write here. Limit two arms. All right, and as an extra, can retract. Okay, cool. So they can kind of go in and out. Alright, so that's how extras and limits work. But I think we need to have a little bit more of a limit here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that it takes a round to create them, or whatever. This game has different phraseologies for the actions and the phases and stuff like that. I actually have things here all written down, kind of comparing the language of this game to D&D's language. I don't know if you can read that, it's kind of faint, but yeah, so this game is written very much in the language of, surprise surprise, comic books. So an action is a panel, which would be just a picture in a comic strip. And then a page would be kind of a round. So we'll just call this limit takes 1 page to retract / extend. Alright, so he can't just like pop it out and then right back in. It kind of takes a while to go kind of form out of his torso. We're just gonna write fast attack here. And we'll put this as a asterisk, and we'll write the page number, so that's 97. So there's that. Let's take a look at shrinking. Shrinking lets you become smaller at will, each level roughly having your size. So you can gain the small quality, which can be activated normally for advantage or trouble. Alright, and shrinking levels. Okay, so these are the levels in which you could shrink. You gain a bonus to attack and defense tests against normal sized opponents. Okay, that's good. Alright, so what if we used our birthright to add +2 to the shrinking? So we'll say, cross that out and say 5. So we have level 5 shrinking now. And, alright, so this character can shrink down to, let me see, each level roughly halving your size. Okay, so basically, if this character typically is around 6 feet tall, he can shrink down with 1 level to 3 feet. The next level would be 1.5 feet. Okay, so we've got 3 feet, 1.5 feet. That would be about that, like 7 inches or so. I didn't do the math very well there, but that's kind of what I'm picturing. And then half of that, and half of that. So, yeah, pretty small. Not microscopic, but ant-sized. So we've got a bit of Ant-Man going on. Let's check out Affliction. I think that will be interesting. Affliction. Affliction works much like a disease or toxin. Make a prowess test to touch your target, then an affliction test against the higher of the target's strength or regeneration. Okay. Wow. So this is cool because a lot of insects have stingers and poisons and toxins and venoms. What if, because he's martial arts, right? So it would be cool if he could like sting and create those kind of toxin things. So make a prowess test. Yeah, we won't write any of this. We won't change any of this. I don't like this emotion control. Let's take a look at that. Maybe we can work it in somewhere else. Is it someone else's emotion or his own? Which could be very useful. Emotion control. Alright, can exert control over how a target feels, placing temporary emotional quality into your choice on the target. So here's a thing. We're going to talk to the DM again, the GM, the guy running the game, and maybe we'll put a limit on the emotion control as it's a different type of toxin that we administer through stings. I think stings would be great. I think that would be really cool. So because sleight of hand, martial arts, it's cool. He's kind of a slippery, kind of in the shadows kind of guy, but he has stingers. Let's try to think of original names for this character, because that's kind of where we're going next. Is we have the specialties and such. Now we're going for the description. What does the hero look like? What's this character's name and background and stuff like that? We'll come up with a picture. I've already got the idea of the hoodie and just the abilities to fight hand to hand. I think it's really kind of spelled out here. He's got a strength of 4, which is great. You know what? We'll put I think when arms extend. Okay, so that way he keeps his 2 strength, but when he's got extra arms coming out, then he's got 4. It doubles his strength. I think that's really cool. I think that really works. Alright, so birthright kind of thing. It's like so maybe he was just born that way, and yeah, that's an interesting thing. So what do we name this guy? Because let me see. There's spiders. We already have Spider-Man. Scorpions, which there's the villain in Spider-Man. Then we got Black Widow. She's a spider. Hornet, wasps, bees, yellow jackets. Hey. I think the yellow jacket is Ant-Man's enemy. What about the yellow hood? Or so, I don't know. Because I enjoy the jacket concept. What if it was the red jacket? Or black jacket? Or what are some good orange jacket? Well, I'm just going through the colors now. Purple jacket, blue jacket. Ooh, blue jacket has an interesting ring to it. Yeah, let's go with the blue jacket. Alright, blue jacket, cool. Alright. Yeah, so I think that's cool. Now we're gonna go on with the qualities, okay? And we'll probably need another sheet of paper here. Yeah, because I think both of these sting. Stingertoxins. Okay, cool. Stinger toxins. So yeah, we'll have these two superpowers, stingers, but we're gonna move on to qualities. Sorry, this is taking a while. I'm brand new to this. Okay, so the qualities are kind of like descriptions. A classic example is like Batman, world's greatest detective, or just a motto or something like with great power comes great responsibility, or I can do this all day. Those are all superhero statements or phrases that define who they are and how their character works. So the blue jacket, let's think of how the blue jacket operates. What's his code? We've got a pretty good thing of like wanting to be part of science and stuff like that. Well, if he got the chemicals on him, that wouldn't be a birthright thing. But maybe the power was in him all along, and the chemicals brought that power out. Maybe that's how it works. I don't know. We don't have to settle on things 100% right here, but just getting an idea of how this character works, how this character will run, I think that'll be good. So qualities. So I'm thinking blue jacket will be from not the suburbs, not like downtown, but still inner city kind of thing going on. You know, maybe he's been trying to keep his nose clean, you know, in a world where, you know, a lot of people suspect him of foul play. And so maybe that's an aspect of it, is be an example? I don't know. Here's some ideas. It's like, who are you? What are you? You know, what drives you? What gets you in trouble? What do you do, and what is distinctive about you? Those are some good jumping off points for describing your character, and we're going to have 3 qualities, right? So we want to have one, well, we want to have at least one that can get you in trouble, because what happens is there's going to be points in this game where you want to cause a little bit of trouble for your character, so then you kind of, by causing trouble for yourself, you're actually gaining points to be used elsewhere to go for your advantage. That's kind of how this game works, is sometimes you allow your character to go through some really hard stuff in order to later pay off that by giving yourself advantage in other areas, which makes for epic storytelling. So we're gonna go with hardship is no stranger to me. How's that? Hardship is no stranger. Alright, so that isn't a that's really hard to be turned into a negative in the sense that, like, you can use it as a positive, as like, something is really hard and it's gonna take us a long time, I don't think we can do it. We can activate this and say, hardship's no stranger. I've had a hard life. I don't know how you can use this as well, maybe you use it as a negative, like someone's trying to discourage you or convince you that your situation is hopeless, and it's easier to believe that because hardship is no stranger. I don't know. I think that's a good motto for this character, though. So, what gets you in trouble? What drives you? I think this is kind of the driver, is hardship is no stranger. What do you do? Well, let's look at martial arts and maybe science. I'm not really sure where science kind of comes in. I mean, maybe he's just interested in science, but how would that tie into this character? He's kind of like Ant-Man, but more ninja-esque, which I like. It's kind of a ninja Ant-Man with poisons. What about, like, ooh. Since we've got him coming from here, I'm thinking he's gonna be a man of color. That's what I'm thinking. Or it could be a girl of color. The blue jacket. See, this is what I was talking about earlier with using your imagination and trying to come up with characters. I think I'm gonna keep it a guy, just for now, because that's kind of the idea I have. I'm being totally honest here. I'm getting a lot of this ideas, getting a lot of this inspiration from Into the Spider-Verse. I'm gonna be honest there. What's nice is this character isn't Miles Morales from that video, or from that movie, because intellect is down and willpower is pretty high. Whereas Miles Morales in that movie, at least at the beginning, you know, the whole origins setting, he's not really aware or full of confidence nor coordination. So near the end, I think that he had a little bit more of this aspect, but yeah, I think with the poison, opposed to like the electricity thing, the venom attack as they call him, but yeah, I think this is different enough. He shrinks, sleight of hand. This science though, science, maybe that's something. Maybe science is his weakness. Maybe he's easily hypnotized or paralyzed when science is there and it's very interesting and he's just trying to gather it together. It's like, so science mesmerize me. I don't know. I think that's good because you can activate that and be like if you're trying to do something technical or technology based or chemical based or something like that, you can activate that so then you're focused, so you're not distracted, but at the same time it can hinder you from paying attention. I like that. And yeah, so one more. Ooh. What's distinctive about you? Maybe that's it. Maybe we can go off of something like, because he's so different, either something about the differences, because it's very odd in that aspect of, you know, he's different from the rest of his neighborhood, his friends, and so he understands that differences are strengths, or something like. Being different can be a strength if that's what you choose. I like that. That's a good motto right there. So here we have the Blue Jacket. He's a character that I really like, and I don't know if I should roll up levels for these. You know what? I think I'm going to. I don't know if you're supposed to, but the book really doesn't tell you when to roll up levels for those things. So let me just do that real quick. Find out how good he is at martial arts and sleight of hand. I mean, those are his things that he enjoys. But let's see what a level here. All right, 7. So 5 at martial arts, not bad. Kind of lines up with the prowess. Alright, and sleight of hand. 7, so that's another 5. Nice. I want to make sure that you guys can see what I'm doing here. And, ooh, 9. So 6. He's good at science. Not very smart, but he's good at science. That's an interesting mix. Maybe he's just not smart in a lot of areas, but science is his jam. And so that's, you know, science mesmerizes me, you know, he's got that, but as far as like figuring out his tax returns or figuring out like math or something like that, not his forte. But science, he's got that down. Cool. So that is the Blue Jacket. He's a pretty cool guy. I'd hang out with him. I'd watch that movie. So if you want to see more icons being made, now that we have the idea down and I've figured out basically how it all works, we'll figure out how to play the game at another point. But if you want to see more characters, I'd love to make them. I think they're really fun, and it's a fun mental exercise if nothing else. And until next time, this is Hogwash over and out. I'll catch you later.